Welcome back, guys. We are live here for the I Love Wrestling podcast, and I'm your host, Justin Woolwine. And today we are welcomed by three-time guest and current Chicago style wrestling world heavyweight champion, the Diamond in the Rough, Rafael Quintero. How we doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Glad to be here for the third time. So I'm happy, excited, excited.
Third time's rare air. You're amongst a few. I've only had one guest on four times, so you're catching up. I like that.
Yeah, we got to tie it up with whoever's number four.
Exactly. Last time I had you on, the day after, I should say, that your episode aired, you were on AEW Dynamite with Kazuchika Okada,
Yes,
which, for one, I want to start by saying that's a badass venue that AEW runs. I hope they do more there.
yeah,
Um,
same.
I thought it was insane that Quintero got a much bigger pop than Okada did. So I'm gonna give you your props there. I don't know if AEW wants me to do that, but I'm gonna do that. You definitely got a
Thank you.
bigger pop that night. Tell us just to start in hot, what was that like? How'd that come together? I know, it was one of those short, we'll call it enhancement style matchups
Yeah,
that AEW does, but like what was the experience like getting to be on there and go against somebody the caliber of Okada?
man. When I was asked, like, "Hey, do you want to?" This is how it was brought up. They were like, "Hey, come talk to this person." I went, and they're like, "Hey, you want to wrestle Okada?" And I was like, "Uh, are you like ribbing me or something?" And then they looked at me and they're like, "No." And then he was taking promo pics of the three belts because he had just won them from beating Kenny Omega. And they're like, "No, you're facing that guy right there with the three belts." And then I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I'd love to wrestle." I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, and then they're like, "Great. Yeah, I'll come and get you whenever time is ready and stuff." And they just told me what to do and stuff. And then I was like, "Oh, can I by any chance use tape?" And they're like, "No, you have to pay for it." I'm just kidding. See, now that's a rib. And I was like, "Oh shit." And like, I remember like texting my friends like, "Yo, you're not gonna believe who I'm wrestling," and they're all saying like some random names. And I was like, Okada, and like the first response was like, "No fucking way." And I was like, "Hell yeah, man!" And like, it was crazy because like I remember Jack and Eddie were like, "Oh, we're pulling up right now," and they like pulled up and like because we're friends with Sky Blue, so like we were seeing her backstage, and she didn't even believe me when I was like, "Oh, I'm facing Okada." She was like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "I'm being dead serious." And I remember like because I know Bandito and them, so like I was hanging out with Bandito, and I told Bandito because he was like when he first saw me, he's like, "Hey, Quintero, you wrestling anybody?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm not sure yet." And then he asked me again when I saw him, and I'm like, "Dude, I'm wrestling Okada." And Bandito was just like, "No way!" And I was like, "Dude, yeah, I'm like excited." So it was really cool, and it was such a good experience, man. And like, it's funny too, because like a couple of days ago, I was kind of sad and just thinking about stuff, and I went back on my like saved stuff that I have on Instagram, and that post of AEW posting me against Okada, I was like, man, I'm a kid that came from like Belvedere, and I get to wrestle on TV, something that no one in my family or probably no one in my town has done. So like, sometimes I got to remember, like, hey, man, you came a long way, so you should always be proud of yourself. So like, that's always a good reminder for some reason for me, and I believe one day I will be back on AEW, and so yeah, I believe in myself.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at that week for you, it was crazy. Wednesday, it's
Yes.
Okada. Friday, it's Mustafa Ali at CSW. Um, I know we talked previously about going into that match where your head was at and things like that. Coming out of the experience, wrestling Mustafa Ali, somebody well known, especially in the Chicago area, been all over, TNA, all over WWE. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was a fun match. It was a very fast paced match. It was something that I expected to come out of that match, and I'm happy with it. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, and it's funny too because my friends were like, "Man, how do you go from wrestling Okada then wrestling Mustafa Ali? Like that, you're the most craziest weekend ever." And I feel like that was just like a normal. Not saying that was a normal weekend because it doesn't happen all the time, but to me, it felt like this is what I trained for, man. This is what I do because that's like one thing I always tell myself before I go out. I'm like, "This is what we train for, bro. Let's go out there and do what we do, you know." So like me hyping myself up, it was kind of like, yep, this is what we do, man. And it was cool to. It's always like that Monday morning when I go back to work where I really sit down and be like, ah, like I did that shit, like I did this, I did that. Like, that's awesome. So it was pretty cool.
Is it ever difficult going back to work, let's say Monday morning after having a crazy weekend like that, and trying to encapsulate to the people that you work with about the crazy experience that just happened days prior?
I don't really talk to my coworkers like that. Like some of them know that I'm a wrestler because I'll say like I'll be like I also love telling people I wrestle because I think it's fucking cool. But like I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm a wrestler on the weekends, and they're all like, cool. But I haven't met someone that's like, oh my god, really? Let me see. You know. I also don't follow my work coworkers on social media or anything. But if they were to ever ask, obviously like I don't have personal social media accounts, so all I have is Quintero. Like so, no, man, not really. But I personally like going to my job. So like when I go to work, I just kind of I just reminisce about everything that I've done. I also like to go over the matches to see if I still remember everything, which I usually do. So
Hmm.
like, yeah, to me, it's just like I think that's like a that Monday morning is that feeling of refreshness, I guess, like a new start.
It's a reset. Okay.
Yeah,
Um, that match with Ali kind of, I want to say, reignited your chase for the world title. Before that, you was Metro Division champion. Unfortunately, lost it to Hans, and then you had to finish that rivalry with Inestra. So this kind of got you back on track, so to speak. I mean, it was an incredible match. I know Ali won, but I feel like you showed out in that matchup,
yeah.
and it started getting you to where maybe that conversation was there. Is that maybe this guy needs to be in that picture? Is that how it felt for you, and maybe even we'll call it the powers that be?
Yeah, I feel like that match just put me on the level. I feel like when that match came about, it was kind of like, well, who else is gonna wrestle? I'm like, Quintero's the best one that could wrestle him here, and so I got that opportunity. And I think ever since then, like thinking about all the matches that I've had, it's just like all these big guys, you know. So like, and every time it's me having to prove that I could be a part of those big guys. So, but at the end of the day, there's still work to be put in. Still, I still got to prove who I am, you know, because I'm still just Quintero. But at the end of the day, nobody really knows me, and I need to show the world who I am. So every time I got to go put all my power and strength into these matches and do what I do best.
So, like to follow your match with Ali, you partake in two matches at Trial by Fire for CSW. One, you're tagging with Cypher, who's in the middle of this heated rivalry with Adam Stallion and Eric Schultz. But you're also in it's called a Survivor's Gauntlet, but kind of like a Survivor Series esque match, which I
Yeah.
I really enjoyed, which saw the return of Acid Jazz. And yourself was alongside Jay Marston and Tupu, taking on the Made Men and Amina Belmont. Um, for you, how special was it to be able to get in there with the Chicago legend like Acid Jazz and to be able to take down um, or to start the taking down of the Made Men?
Uh, it felt cool, man. To be honest, I was kind of hoping I got in the ring with the BOZ, but the chance did not come in. But yeah, it felt cool, man. Because like other than that, I was just like, I feel like I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do after that Ali match. So like, I was kind of like, we'll see where Quintero goes, and that was the start of like the stair set to climb up to get that belt. So and now we got it. So I think it's that now that you bring that up, man, that is true. That was kind of like the start of like taking down the bad wolves, the big bad wolves of CSW, which was the main man, Steve Boz and Marche Rocket.
So, like, yeah, and along with that, throughout this journey, throughout that climb, next to you, but across from you at the same time, we had Conan Lycan, who we'll get in later, kind of shows his true colors. But was it nice at the time to be able to have somebody who's been in that main event scene kind of along with you for the ride, whether it is against you or with you?
Yeah, it felt good at one point, you know, not anymore, but it felt good to have him with me and stuff. But then it's also kind of like it was bound to happen, man. Like a former champion helping the new champion and seeing that, and I don't even know if it's obviously we'll probably talk about it later. I don't know if it was jealousy or what it was. I ended up doing what made him do his actions that we all know happened. But now we're gonna see what's next, man. But it was cool to have him on my side, but now he's on the opposite side.
So, I mean, the real climb for you, I think, really began at Second City Showdown, where
Mm-hmm.
you compete in Ring of Destiny, yourself and several others, um, to you know a lot of pride in this matchup. This can be a game changer for a lot of people. And I feel like the story throughout this match was yourself and Conan Lycan. Um,
Mhm.
what was it like winning Ring of Destiny, a very prominent matchup in Chicago style wrestling, and to stake your claim at, pursuing Marche Rocket for that title?
I think that was the time where I really like that Survival Series match. It was me pinning Marche Rocket clean. He was the last man. It was me and him. The underdog taking out the big dog. It was pinning him there and then winning the Ring of Destiny, taking out the former CSW champion Conan Lycan, someone who has lost to Marche to get that belt actually. And so being able to pin the champ, then pin the former champ, it was kind of like this dude's destined to get an opportunity to face the champ, and exactly what I got after winning that Ring of Destiny and being the last guy to come out on top. Also, my first time, so now I get to be on the record books of a Ring of Destiny winner. So that's really cool as well. And yeah, that was the start of everything. And after that, it was just kind of like the rocket was in my back, and I needed to start flying.
So, I mean, I thought it was really cool because usually the year for CSW kind of ends at Second City Showdown. Like usually that's the finale. But in December in Elmwood Park, we got In Cold Blood, yourself taking on Marche, which I thought for one was very interesting because usually that Ring of Destiny, it's kind of acted like a Money in the Bank where it's kind of like a cash in style thing. So for you to immediately say, "Hey, I want my shot here and I want it now and I want to end, 2025 as CSW World Heavyweight Champion," I thought was a very interesting choice. Um, what went into your preparation to take on Marche Rocket in the main event? And how did you feel initially coming out of that match before Lycan would ultimately turn on you and show his true colors?
Before going into this match, I had to just remind myself who I am. I remind myself everything I've done to get here. I have to remind myself why I deserve this and why exactly the hard work I put in is all worth it at the end of the day. And
Mhm.
so going out those curtains, I knew it was a fight, and I knew how to show exactly why I deserve to be here. And at the end of the night, I proved exactly why. Things in my I might not have gone my way when it came to celebrating with my friends, but at the end of the day, that's just how life is. The champion's gonna have to fight the best to be the best, and in order to be the pound for pound fighter, I need to fight everybody. I need to fight the best in order to be the best. So whether it's Marche, whether it's Conan, I'm not afraid of anybody. So whoever comes, Quintero's always going to come out on top because I'm a fighter and I've never backed out from a fight.
Do you think that the Made Men and specifically Marche is completely behind you?
I hope so, but at the end of the day, you never know. But at the moment, right now, the person that's in my eyes is Conan Lycan. That's one person that comes to my eyes. I know he's always lurking in the back, and after defeating the one called Manders, he was there. So it's kind of like he's a snake. He was a former friend turned into an enemy, and he's going to be lurking because he hasn't stepped to me face to face lately. It's always been behind my back,
Yeah.
so we can't trust that.
Do you think facing one called Manders, who I think very publicly is known that himself and Lycan are very close friends, do you think that was your first kind of test before getting to Lycan?
Yeah, I think that was my first defense as a champion, and I think exactly that wasn't a wrestling match; it was a fight, and I think I exactly showed why I am the champion. It wasn't just beating the big Marche Rocket. It was also you can be a champion all you want, but you also got to defend the belt like a real champion. And I think I proved exactly why I deserve to be champion in that match. And I fought the fight. I fought a bigger guy than me and was able to take him down and come out victorious with my froggy bow. So I proved exactly why I deserve to be on that spot and on the main event. So I'm very happy with that fight.
Definitely. One more CSW related question, then we're going to get to some other action. But as we record this, we're recording this on Monday the 16th, Friday. You take on Jack and Eddie for the tag titles alongside Axel Rico. Um, I believe this is a pursuit for both you and Axel to become Triple Crown champions. I believe
Yes.
that's the idea here. What's it like for you guys going in there with somebody or two guys young like Jack and Eddie, who you guys have trained with, kind of learned each other and learned from with? Like, what's that dynamic like going in a match with so much stakes with honestly two people that you guys probably care a lot about?
Yeah, man. Axel is the trainer of me, the Black Sheep, FXB, Jack and Eddie. He's really produced all of us four, like realistically, man. So like to be teaming up with my trainer and someone who kind of put me under his wing when we started, and I wouldn't be the wrestler I am today if it wasn't for Axel. I think he deserves his flowers, man. I can go on a whole tangent about why he deserves his flowers. But teaming up with him to face my two friends, Jack and Eddie, I faced them multiple times before in other places, but this is like the big place. You know, it's like every little small fed gave us a chance, but now it's time for the big fed that we all came from to wrestle on. So that's cool, man. So to be able to do that, it's cool. But it's also the idea of like I can be Grand Slam champion, man. I can have all belts if I want to. So that's awesome as well.
Is there any added pressure to go in there with your friends and your trainer, or is it I've heard other guys say like going out there with your friends is like a night off. Is there more pressure, or are you going out there and you just gonna have some fun and see what happens?
It could be. I think the pressure is there more of like I gotta have a good ass match, but it's also like I'm not really worried knowing who I'm with in the ring. But
Yeah,
we'll see. At the end of the day, you never know, man. But no matter what, I'm excited. I think it'll be. I think people should have their eyes open and phones out with this match.
definitely, definitely. Another prominent place that yourself, Jack, and Eddie are a part of is Ego Pro, which
Mm-hmm.
I love the guys over there at Ego Pro. I love the crew, and Rob is great just to put them over. But they got a big show coming up in March at the casino down in Joliet. It'll be yourself along with Jack Valor and Eddie Grayson taking on Chavo Guerrero Jr. and Latinos Most Wanted, Saban Gage and Coda Hernandez, which yourself and Coda have some history. What can we expect out of the six of you come March?
We both wrestled. Latinos Most Wanted. I wrestled them once with me and my tag partner Lizard Man. So yeah, man, I think but to be wrestling Chavo Guerrero is really cool because I once this match always stuck with me for some reason, but the matchup with him versus CM Punk in the Gulf of Mexico match on ECW, that match for some reason always stood out to me as a kid. I was thought it was a funny and cool match. So to be wrestling that guy is like to me is like that's pretty fucking awesome. So I'm really excited for that, and I think it's be cool, man. Also, the reaction of what people was giving us when that match was posted was really cool. So no matter what, I think that show from top to bottom is gonna be an awesome night. Eagle Pro is always the show to be at, man. A show to go to, have fun, and it's just always a good time. So that's gonna be fun.
So, like something cool I've noticed about Rob and Ego Pro and just all together is there's a group of you guys it seems like he's really attached himself to because I feel like he believes in you guys. Um, is it cool for you guys to see people like Rob or Boz or Ali, who's grown up in this scene, try to help elevate the next layer of talent?
Yeah, I think that's cool. I think it's good to have people that care for the business and care for the new up and coming people instead of like kind of not instead of not leveling up, not helping them level up. You know, so it's always good to have that.
Um, some would consider 2025 maybe a breakout year for Quintero. If we look at it from across the board, Metro Division champion going in, um, world champion going out. Every promotion you've been wrestling for, you've been a contender for a championship, if not the top championship. Um, for you, would you consider it a breakout year, or was it more of the year you laid the groundwork for the breakout year?
I don't think it's my breakout year yet. I feel like it was the year where I was. I feel like I think it's funny because like I was just thinking about that because I just completed 3 years wrestling and I was kind of thinking about like that first year was just getting out there, starting to get on promotions. My second year was like I got TNA, NWA, I was backstage WWE, and then this year was like, and then like AEW, Okada, and all that shit, and then like the third year was like wrestling all these top names, being on these companies and the top indie company of Chicago, and getting up there, and now it's like this year, I don't know what's there. I feel like this year was just me proving myself. Like, okay, this dude's not. This dude's pretty good, man. He shouldn't be slept on. So I don't want to say like I've reached my peak, and I feel
No,
like there's still a lot of work to be there. But I think that this year I just kept proving like why I deserve to be where I'm at.
definitely. So like right after our last conversation, at AAW Take No Prisoners, you took part in two matches, one a battle royal, and then later on you would go on to have be a part of a triple threat for
Yes.
the heavyweight title against Ren Jones and Trevor Lee. First, I want to know what's it like for you going into a night and taking and being a part of two matches? Because there's got to be an extra level of difficulty focusing on one match and then getting right into gear to do the next. And then also, what was it like to be in another major Chicago indie show in the main event, uh, aiming for a world heavyweight title?
Oh man, it felt a lot to me, man. AEW is my favorite company to be at, and being AEW is the company in Chicago that has had Penta, has had Phoenix, has had Josh Alexander, has had Trevor Lee, has had all of these dudes that are all now on TV. To be in that Fed, to see myself in that Fed and be able to be in the main event, not just once. That was the first time I was in the main event, but like to be in the ring with Trevor Lee and Ren Jones. I am the little fish in the big pond, but I think I'm starting to prove that I'm not just a little fish. I am that fish. So like to be there, it means a lot to me personally, but it also means that like it's time to show why I deserve to be in that place. So to me, it's awesome to be there, and yeah, man, it's always I always gotta put all my gears in and start and going ham and just prove exactly why I deserve to be there, man.
So like later on in the year, come November, you take on Trevor Lee again for the world title. Um, which honestly I thought he was gonna walk out champion there for that one even. Um, What were some of the key components to facing someone like Trevor Lee for the world title? And obviously, Trevor is still champion.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself being the guy that takes that strap?
I believe in myself, and I believe that I can do it. I've battled 3 times already at this point in my career. I'm about to enter four this coming Saturday, so I'm ready for whatever it takes, man. Fighting Trevor Lee, he's a tough guy. He's that guy. So I have to prove exactly why I deserve to be in a ring across from him. So, but it's always a real fight. It's always coming in and showing my best, man. I have to go all out. So, and like I said before, in order to be the best, you got to fight the best. So that's why I'm there.
You know, NWA Chicago just posted recently that they was coming back for an event in the upcoming months. Um, in September, you took on Tom Latimer for NWA, and then for NWA Chicago, yourself and Jack and Lizardman competed in another match. What's your relationship like with the NWA? And could we see more of you in NWA Chicago? And has there been any talks to possibly see you in the wider National Wrestling Alliance?
Probably not no longer. I've had my chances with them, and that's that. And it was cool to have an experience with them on TV. That was cool. That was my first experience on TV, and that was awesome. But yeah, with their upcoming show, I will not be there. I will be at Ego Pro, and the Ego Pro is the show to be at. Sold out already. So if you didn't get your tickets, uh, try to get tickets. But no, I will be at Ego Pro, and yeah.
I didn't know they was crossing paths like that. It's funny how like companies do that. There's a lot of that, and I feel like it forces tribalism. Do you think yeah, I'm gonna start this by saying you don't have to answer this, but do you think that's something that's done on purpose to force you to pick?
I feel like probably some people do. Probably some
Okay.
people don't. At the end of the day, you gotta do what makes you happy. So whatever you choose, it's on you. But personally, I'm gonna do what makes me happy. So life life's hard as is, man. So I'm gonna do whatever makes me happy. So yeah.
Absolutely. I think you're 100% right. And I feel like you made the right choice in which, from what I've heard, made the right choice sticking with ego and doing that show. Um, you know, at Galley. something I thought was really cool. You was the Gladiator champion. I'm gonna call it the Gladiator champion because I can't speak Spanish for
Yeah, same
quite
thing.
the long time. Uh, and at Gallimania, you took on Arrow Boy Iniestra for the championship, and Iniestra happens to be the guy to take that title off you. Is that a title you want back? And what's going on with Iniestra? Why does he always find himself in your way?
I don't know, man.
Do you have a thing for you?
I don't know. Probably. To be honest, at this point, I'm past that. I already showed that I can win that belt. At this point, I'm aiming. I'd like to be the champion of the Fed that gave me my first match and is giving me a lot of stuff. So I like to be the main champion there. So recently, at this past show that we had yesterday, it was me and Electro versus Hans, the Discovery champion, and
Mm.
Axel, the world champion at Galley, and we were able to get the win on them. So if we already can pin them now, imagine in a singles match. So I like to go for the world heavyweight champion, even the Discovery champion. I want to be a Grand Slam champion wherever I go to prove that I am the pound for pound fighter that I am. So I'm down to fight whoever it is.
You said Axel's the world champion at Galley?
Yeah, he's been a
That
champion for a while and he's been defeated. Shit, he defeated Bandito and Gravity. So like, you got to step to that level.
definitely, definitely. Has it been known that you want that championship, or is that what we say breaking news?
I would say like people they already know, especially if you were at the CMLL shows. I was able to pin Axel myself. Oh no, he stole a match from me actually. He was able to sneak in right as I hit my finisher and get me out of the ring. So nah, it's been known. I've shared the ring with him a couple of times after that, so I think people know what I want.
Definitely. So I something also really cool is I mean we've talked about your tag team experience. You've been obviously you're going to be tagging with Axel this Friday. You've mentioned your tag team with A and B, Hidden Gems, which I love the name by the way. That's
Thank you.
fire. Yourself and Lizard Man, the mutants. Um, is it difficult to have so many different tag team partners throughout so many different promotions, or is it something that you found easy to flow through each team?
It's rare, man. Like I ain't gonna lie. Like it's not like I am just a tag team wrestler. Like you know, how Jack and Eddie just go as tag teams. You don't see them as singles.
Yeah,
For me, I'm a singles, and it's kind of like random fads that are just like tag team. So it is kind of rare. Like Dreamwave, that's like that own thing. Like you don't see us elsewhere. So it's kind of like its own thing at its own. Yeah, it's just its own thing. To be honest, it's the best way to describe it, I guess.
so where did the name come from? Hidden Gems for yourself and A and B.
That came from A and B. Well, one I was a diamond in the rough, and he kind of was just saying how like we're like hitting gems, like nobody knows about us, but we're talented, and it kind of just fits. It worked.
Definitely. You guys just got new t-shirts up on Pro Wrestling Tees, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, that's A and B's thing. I don't know about that, but yeah, I think I guess we do. Yeah, I didn't really know about that until I saw the post myself. So
That's cool. I mean, it's something.
yeah, I
Um,
think it's pretty cool.
so I mean, as far as 2026 goes, we've kind of talked about, 2025 maybe being the year you laid your groundwork. Is there any, obviously, is CSW going to maintain being champion? Is there any other like hard set goals that you want to set for yourself to kind of set this year apart from 2025, 2024, and 2023?
I just want to prove to the world who I am and who Quintero is, and go all around the world. I want to be everywhere, not just here in Chicago. We got a couple of coming stuff this year that's going to be elsewhere. So hopefully we expand more internationally. And I just want to prove with every match that I have who I am, and to those who don't know who I am, know who I am. So I just want to show why I'm Quintero.
Definitely. And I know, like, in 2025, you definitely had some dream matches. Maybe some expected, some unexpected. Is there anybody on the indies that you're eyeing that's, really been kicking ass that you want to try to get in the ring with?
I've always wanted to wrestle Starboy Charlie. I think he's pretty sick. Um, There's a lot, man. To be honest, there's a lot, but can't even really. It's always like when you can't think about it at the top of my head. I think Cyber Charlie's the shit, so I'd like to wrestle that dude. He's pretty fucking sick. Other than that, I don't not that I can think of, to be honest, off the top of my head.
Definitely. As of recording this, come March, you will be making your Warrior Wrestling debut, I believe in an eight-man match for the Warrior Wrestling Lucha Libre Championship. Uh, how did that come about, and what can we expect from you going against the likes of Beast Mortis from AEW, Gringo Loco, the current champion? I believe there's been some other competitors in that match that have been named, but I will absolutely butcher them.
Yeah. Um, just expect a whole lot of lucha, man. I'm very excited. The last time I stepped in a ring with Beast Mortos, I was like 6 months in my wrestling career. So to me, that's pretty cool. A lot of people don't know that I've wrestled Beast Mortis before. So I'm really excited about that one. Not just that, but like the Mexa Boys. That's how their tag team is called. But I'm excited to wrestle those dudes as well. It'll be Noisy Boy, Noisy Boy, and Spiderfly. They're a tag team, and they're like some people that I'm really excited to wrestle against. Hopefully, I get to share the ring with them. It's also like an 8-man tag, so like, hopefully, I get to do that thing. And Beast Mortis, Vengador 2 is a dude that's popping lately, so I'm excited for that one as well. So there's so many matches. That's the thing. Like, there's so much stuff in that match. People that I want to share the ring in. And I'm really excited that I get to do that. So hopefully, whatever happens, happens. But I'm excited for all of those.
I'm super excited because like the last two Warrior shows that I've been at were at the Half Acre Brew in
Yeah.
Chicago. This is their first show inside Logan Square, and I've never been there before.
Oh, really?
So I'm excited
Same,
for the
same
venue.
here.
Um,
Yeah, I was only there for only wrestlers, and then freelance runs there. And that's like the only fed I haven't done. But like, so for me to be wrestling for Logan Square at Logan Square with Were my debut as well. So and it's funny too because I used to see clips from them with like all the like Vikingo used to be there all the
yes.
time. So like seeing those matches, Osprey being their champion, and to be able to get on there, like that's awesome to me, man. So I get to go to Logan Square, wrestle there, and in a match that's the word banger is always told. The word banger is already written all over this match. So like I think this is gonna be the highlight of the night. So I'm excited, man. It's gonna be sick. Whole lot of lucha shit. Uh, a lot of international talent in that match. Just people that deserve to be there. So it's gonna be sick, man.
You know, Gringo is somebody that really has held up his end of the bargain when it comes to Lucha Libre
Mhm.
and at Warrior. Um, he's been Warrior Lucha champion for a very long time, since before they
Yeah.
left, I believe. Um, wouldn't it be cool if he was the guy to take that belt off of Gringo Loco?
Oh man, that would mean a lot to me, man. So I'd love to if the opportunity comes. I'd love that. I think that'd be sick.
Um, so you've wrestled in Logan Square before at for only wrestlers, correct?
Yeah, just once.
Once. What's it like? I've heard working with only wrestlers is a little different. RVD is a big part of that. I don't believe he's at that show, but he's a big part of the brand. What was it like going in there to Logan Square and taking on, I believe it was the Brothers of Funstruction, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it became a triple threat match. It was the Brothers of Construction and Stephen Flow and Cocaine. So it was a crazy, chaotic match. But me and Lizardman did what we have to do. So yeah,
I like it. I like it a lot.
it
So
is my like I think like fourth time or fifth time against the Brothers of Construction. And yeah, but those guys are awesome, man. And I'm
it's
happy to see their success. So
it's always a interesting time when you see your name across the board from the Brothers of Funstruction. You never know what you're gonna get at all.
yeah, yeah, it's always a fun match, and you can tell there's people that come to see them only. So it's pretty cool.
So we mentioned your debut for Warrior. Obviously, you mentioned that you haven't had the chance yet to work with freelance. Are there any other companies, whether it's in the Chicago area or even the broader independent spectrum, that you'd like to get the chance to get on the card and show them what you got?
Yeah. Definitely Revolver, man. I'd like to get on that. A lot of Lucha Feds, IWRG and out in Mexico. I'd like the opportunity to be on Beyond or Wrestling Open. You know, a lot of those feds that have a lot of like eyes on it. Defy, like, there's a lot, man. Honestly, anywhere in any place. But it's just something I can think about. But yeah, I feel like at this point I'm just kind of everywhere in Chicago, and I wanted to like to get out there. So, yeah,
Definitely. Quintero, I want to say thank you first and foremost. first and foremost for coming on part three. I've had an absolute blast. Is there anything you would like to plug, whether it's social media wise or even event wise, that we haven't plugged yet that you'd like to let the fans know where to check out Rafael Quintero?
Yeah, man. I feel like we talked about it all, but check me out. Quintero at AAW, CSW, Galley, second, Warrior upcoming. And who knows where you might see the Diamond in the Rough at. But no matter what, the Diamond in the Rough will always stay shining. So, yeah, man. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to be on this podcast once again, to listen to it again, listen to it again when it comes out, and excited to show the world what exactly I am. So no matter where you see me at, just know that I'm gonna put up a fight.
Absolutely. And 2025 was like we've talked about a lot in this was the year I think, like you said, you was there proving yourself. I feel like podcast wise, ILW Pod did the same thing. We kind of laid the groundwork for what we plan to do here in 2026. So to both of us, I wish nothing but success. I can't wait to see you this
100%.
Friday, and whenever else in the future. With that said, guys, I'm going to leave this at Quintero. I'll see you next time.